Hello everybody, Brandon Parker back again with another gameplay video on Kingdom Hearts. So moving forward with this, yep. And it's been a while since I did a gameplay on this channel. I've been busy with school and stuff. I'm in film school, of course, for those of you who don't know, don't really watch this channel or just watch me for the first time. So that's what I've been doing, so I haven't really had much time. And then I'm getting a new computer, which is going to be an Alienware Aurora computer, going back to Windows. So if you know me from my MasterSlan88 tutorial channel, I've been doing a bunch of tutorials on Mac and Windows, and right now I have a mid-2009 MacBook, and I'm going to be getting me an Alienware Aurora. I'm going back to Windows because the new MacBooks are going to be like $10,000, and I gotta watch out here because these guys are pretty tough. So yeah, the MacBooks are, well, not the new MacBooks, but they're actually the Mac Pro, the desktop version of the Macs, are going to be $10,000 for all the stuff that I want for it, and the speed and everything. And to get that for Windows, you can get pretty much close to the same speed as a Mac, as long as you get something that's pretty good, like Dell or HP. And I'm going with Alienware Aurora, which is made by Dell, and it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going with that, and that's what I'm going to be doing in the next week. Should be coming in next week sometime. So I'm just recording this just so that you don't see that I haven't been on my channel for a while, and I wanted to explain a few things and to get this game finished, because I've played this game many times before, as I've said, and I just like the HD version of this. So I want to get to my favorite parts of the game, which is the Little Mermaid is the hardest part of the entire, well, where the game really starts getting hard, because right now it's not that hard. And I did kind of go along the last time I recorded this game. I did go along with here in Agrabah. It's just how it went, because I kept bumping into enemies again. And so my goal here is to try to get at least 2 worlds done in this video. So let's see what happens here. And I'm going this way so I don't get lost. Well, it's not that I'm lost or anything. I'm just making sure that I've gotten everything, so that I don't have to go back in a circle, because sometimes I move too fast and I get games mixed up. And yeah, I played this a lot of times before on the PS2, before I got this on the PS3. And yeah, so gotta watch out. And sometimes my people on my team, which is Goofy and Aladdin, they really don't do much. It's mostly me doing most of the work, as you can see that. And that's why in the beginning, when I started recording my very first video, I made sure that I leveled up pretty good, and I spent like an hour doing that at the beginning in Destiny Island. So alright. Okay, so now I'm hitting all these Heartless, which they're not that difficult. The ones that are really hard in this game pretty much are the fat ones, because they like to not let you hit them from the back, and you have to hit them from the back, so they try to stay in front of you as much as possible. And then I hate the ones that blow out fire. They're just frustrating, which I'm doing okay right now because I'm at a pretty good level. And I just almost fell because of water. Water doesn't do any damage to you. Well, kinda, but not really. It just mostly pushes you down so that you can fall, so that the enemies can spawn again. So yeah. Alright. I'm just getting things out of the way that are spawning back again, because I really do not want any problems. And anything that I hit, I'll just level up again. Like some games, they just spawn, you have to fight them. Like sometimes on Zelda, the enemies would spawn and you don't get anything out of it other than you just have to kill them again if you go back to the same spot. Here, where every time you kill them again, you're getting experience points. So that's what I like about this. You can spend hours just trying to level up to 100, just killing the same enemies again and again. And I'm almost dead now, so I gotta be careful. And I just got pushed down by the fat dude that's blowing out fire, which is the fat Heartless. So which is alright. I should be pretty much done with this by now. Getting close to the part where I fight Jafar. Okay, so there's this fat guy again. So I hate him when he blows out his fire. I've taken most of my damage from him. And I just fell down again. It's kind of frustrating, but it just happens. I'm kind of rushing a little bit, so that's why that happened too. That I fell down in the water. I'm gonna back down here below to the bottom part. Just gotta make sure if I gotten everything here, because I really don't want to go back in circles, and because I'm not gonna go back to the beginning part of this world, because I already know that I have to stay in here and spin that thing in the treasure room. So that door has to open up. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get back in there to see if I already did that. Can't get over there right now because the enemies keep spawning. And parts of me wants to skip them, but then part of me is like, if I bump to them, I'll just hit as many as possible. So I can level up, because when I get to the Under the Sea world, that's going to be very difficult, because I think Ursula is very hard. She's like the toughest enemy. Well, first enemy that's really tough, like Maleficent. When you fight her towards the end of the game, I think she's pretty hard too. Because I usually use my powers more when I fight Maleficent, and sometimes more when I fight Ursula. Because right now I don't use it too much, other than just for in case when I get hit, I use my healing power to heal myself. But other than that, I really don't use my powers. Because I can summon characters, like right now I can summon Simba. And then after I beat this, I'll be able to summon the genie. So I'll be able to summon him after this. And I see now that it hasn't turned yet. So what I gotta do is go back to the bottom, I think. Jump back down. And see if there's something down there that I have to get to make that turn, because I know, because parts of me forgets some of it, and then because of other games I get things mixed up. Sometimes that happens with movies. I have to, just like anything, I just have to watch it for like 5 or 10 minutes to realize what movie it is or whatever. But sometimes I'm not good with movies. I'll just know what it is just by the song in the movie. But then again, sometimes songs are overly used in more than one movie, so then it makes it a little bit hard to guess. Yeah, see, there's nothing for me, and I don't have to do anything. I thought I had to do something with the monkeys again and touch them, but I guess here there's nothing I can really do. And I can't really jump to get that other thing. And there's nothing up there. Yeah, and I can't get that box up there because I can't reach it. So do you see, I was just trying to do that and I fell. Because I have to press the jump button and then move. Yeah, because it won't let me get that. Yeah, see. So I'm kind of screwed until I get the high jump, which I'll get it when I get sucked up by the whale, which is not really a world to me. It's like a level, because it's, I guess you can call it a world if you want. There's a part of the game where you get sucked up by a whale. It's not a dolphin, it's a whale. And I'll probably, depending on how long this goes, I'll probably do that world too, because it's not really that long. I'm going to go over here to see if there's anything else for me. I'm already at 9 minutes and 33 seconds into the video. And, yeah, so, okay, there's something here. Alright, so probably do something with it. Now I have to check. They didn't do anything there. Let me check again. Okay, so if I break it, so I'm gonna have to hit this. Okay, now I see. Alright, yeah. So now I should get to Jafar now. Go back to the treasure room. And I should be able to fight him. With this cutscene here that comes up. I should be able to fight him.
My first wish, genie. Show me the.
And it's like a quick version of the movie. Like it goes through each important parts of the actual movie really fast. Of course, you don't go into the part where Aladdin and Genie are in the cave like we are now, and they're with the treasure and they're singing and all that. You don't really go into all that, but it's just like a showing you the important parts, like the beginning, the middle, the end, all at once, mixed in with its own story at the same time. Trying to figure out how to get it back out of here from over here. Okay, yeah, I gotta go. I'm just gonna go back this way because it's the only way. So I'm gonna go over here, get back on the stairs. Okay, go up to here to the hall, and get back to the treasure room. But enemies are gonna spawn again, so I gotta watch out for them. Gotta be careful not to die from me either, because this big fat guy is very hard. I'll just keep hitting him from the front. See what my team members do. I wonder how they would do it for 2 players on the 3rd game, because it would be nice. They never made this game a 2-player game. It's always been a 1-player game, which is kind of weird because you have 2 other characters that follow you around. They should be controllable by another person. And I think that's what they should do in the next game. Like I had thoughts of, like, not really thoughts, but I had things that I wish you could do. Like, I wish you could play as Aladdin, and I wish you could play as Little Mermaid, and all those characters. It would be pretty cool. But then again, the story is about Zora and him bumping into him, so it's alright that you really don't get to play as them. But I think in the 3rd game, they should allow you to play like you play as Zora, of course. Then you have like Riku and Kairi on your team, and they help you. Because what I've seen from the previews, you still have Donald and Goofy with you, or one of them controls Donald, and if you have a 3rd controller, then the other one will control Goofy. And whatever you don't have a 3rd person for, then it'll just be computer controlled. So I think that would be pretty cool. Or at least one person gets to control. Like if you have 2 other people, one of them gets to control. Like say Aladdin, I'm the main player 1 always gets to play as Zora, but player 2 or 3 gets to play as one of the side characters. I think that would be pretty cool.
That boy again?
He is more
in the 3rd game.
Than I expected.
And they're gonna be making a Maleficent movie with Angelina Jolie. She kind of looks like Maleficent when you look at some of the pictures online about the movie. And I've been hearing rumors about it, and then I saw on TV that's confirmed, and I heard about it on the radio, I think, too. So it's actually coming out. I don't know exactly when, because I haven't really got into it, but I think it's gonna be pretty cool. My thoughts about it is pretty much what are they trying to do with all the Disney cartoons that were really popular from the 90s, like Aladdin and The Little Mermaid? Are they trying to make them into live action movies now, where instead of cartoons they're doing a live action version of it? Which Maleficent, I'm not really sure how it's going to be, but with the casting of Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, I think she fits the part and looks like Maleficent, and it seems pretty interesting. So I'll check the movie out when it comes out and stuff. And I'm a huge fan of the cartoons from the 90s, especially the Disney ones, because they're all pretty cool. Aladdin's one of my favorites. Of course, they've done like a series for Aladdin and then they did 2 or 3 other movies, or like actually I know 3 in all. Return of Jafar or something like that. Or I can't remember the exact name because it's been a while since I've seen it. And it's kind of not as good at... They're alright, but the first one's the best. Even though the second and third one's not really that bad. Just that it's not like too much put into it as much as the first one. And then it's like kind of like a straight to video kind of thing. Because when the second and third one, DVDs weren't really popular yet. So I'm trying to fight Jafar now, and he's not really that hard here. To be honest, he's really not hard to fight at all. Now I have to kind of fight him twice. The second time I have to fight him, I have to hit, which is Iago. I have to hit him after I hit Jafar here and kill him. He's already almost dead. Yeah, so mostly Aladdin's the one that's gonna be dead. And I don't know why. That's why I think it's kind of stupid that your team members are like, they should be as strong as I am, and they're already almost dead because they're not really following me. They should be following me instead of just attacking Jafar. They're doing it incorrectly. But it doesn't matter if they die. They kind of help you out, but they really don't. They're just there. To me, I think they're just there to look pretty, and they kind of do help you out, but not really. It's most of the work is done by you, the player. So, okay, I got the power of ice, and it went to Bizarra. So instead of Blizzard, it's Bizarra. However you want to pronounce it. I don't know how it's pronounced exactly, but it's upgraded now. And so now I have to go over to here to Jasmine and pick her up. So I have to close this key, like lock it,
Genie,
or close the door.
final wish. I want you to make me an all-powerful genie.
See, like in the movie, he wants to become a genie at the end. Because he's pissed. He's like, well, if you're not going to do it for me, I'll just become a powerful genie. And he's, like, very greedy. So, if you know of the movie, he made the biggest mistake ever. He's a genie, so he has to do what a genie does. And he has his own lamp. So, this is what's going to happen when I finish him off. Now, in the movie, Zora's not there, but you know the movie, and you should know the movie, because if you never seen Aladdin, I don't know where you were. You either were an adult when the movie came out, or you were a kid. Like me, I was a kid, so I was like 7 or 8 when this movie came out. Came out in like 94, 95. I say more like 93, 94. Maybe 92, I think. Somewhere around there, 92, 93, or 94. I was like 7 or 8 around the time it came out. And I actually saw this in theaters when it came out. And it was just a really good cartoon for its time. This movie has good music with it. I really like that too. It's a good animated cartoon. They still make good cartoons today. Just that, other than Pixar's cartoons with Disney, I kind of miss some of the stuff from the 90s a little bit still. I thought there's a lot more. I don't know, something about the 90s. They had a lot of good movies and cartoons that I just liked. Like, I liked Mighty Ducks, I liked Aladdin, and all the, of course, all the Disney stuff, so I don't need to repeat myself with that. But like, of course, Terminator 2 came out in the 90s, and then Arnold came out with a bunch of good movies in the 90s. He had Total Recall, all that stuff. He had Eraser, and those were all pretty good 90s movies. And then, like I mentioned Tarzan, I thought that was pretty cool. I like the story of that. That's why I like that that Tarzan is in the game. And then I used to watch the series to this. They made like a 30-minute, each episodes were like 30 minutes long. And when Disney Channel was pretty much first came out, I thought it was better then when it first came out than it is now, because like Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez, I say pretty much right after Feel the Future on the Disney Channel, I think it just fell apart, because I don't really like Selena Gomez. I don't like the Wizards of Waverly Place and all that stuff. And yes, I was already older, and I was more like, I was 17 when all that stuff came out, and then, because I'm 25 now, and I just more older, I don't really care. Like, I don't watch any of that stuff, like Dog with a Blog or any of that crap, whatever. I don't even know all the shows now, because I don't watch Disney Channel anymore. I remember Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I watched that once in a while, but even then, I kind of didn't really care too much for that. I didn't like it, and so after Feel the Future, I gave up on it, because they had one show on the Disney Channel that I liked. It was about this the Jersey, where you get to play, where these kids, 4 friends, they there's a jersey, and one boy had his grandpa or whatever was a football player, and he has his Magic jersey. You get to play as a professional. If you put on the jersey, allow you to become a professional, one of the cool sports players. So I thought that was pretty neat. You got to play as and different. It's like what would the jersey play you? It was pretty cool on the Disney Channel, so you got to play football. One episode was about 49ers, and you got to play as Steve Young and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that cartoon, I mean, it wasn't a cartoon, but I thought that show was nice. And then one show that I really liked on the Disney Channel was The Famous Jet Jackson. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Lee Thompson Young. I feel bad because he died. He was shot. I don't know exactly what happened to him, because of course I wasn't there. I just heard about it on the internet, and then it was confirmed on the news. So I was like bummed about that, because he did feature in one episode of Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which was season 1, episode 4. He had a small part in it, but I mostly liked him in the Famous Jet Jackson series, and then the movie to it. I thought the movie was well done for a Disney Channel, like, kind of third-party thing, where it wasn't really funded much for what it had, for what it was. It was really good. I liked the story of it, and it was pretty nice. I wish they would have kept it going a little more, or did another movie with it. I thought it was that great. And then I used to watch Even Stevens. I used to watch that. Shia LaBeouf is pretty good at the time, and now I hear that he's going crazy because he's not going to be in Transformers 4, which I kind of was skeptic about the Transformers movies.
Earth to Al. Hello, you still have
because I don't like Michael Bay's editing. It's not that his editing choice is, because I'm into special effects and 3D animations and all that stuff, but the way he does his stuff is pretty cool, but he doesn't really put a story to it. Like, let's just show things blowing up and people moving around, a bunch of things happening all at once. That's why I didn't even like Battleship. Battleship had too much going on. There wasn't scenes where they were talking, or scenes where they showed more cinematography instead of just special effects. Like, mix it all in. Because movies today, they're like, let's just blow things up. New RoboCop movie. Blow up
orders from others.
Alex Murphy. Blow him up in a car. Have a car just blow up.
A favor? Now
It's like,
that's entirely different.
in the original RoboCop
I guess I
movies,
could give that a
Alex
try.
Murphy was shot cold-blooded.
We're pals,
And yeah,
pal.
it was rated R, and the new one's PG-13, so they had to just blow him up because blowing up ain't really, like, anything too graphic, I guess. I think that's kind of, well, yeah. So now, see what happens here. I'm gonna go to, I'm at 26 minutes. I'm gonna go to the next world. Whenever I bump into, it should be the well, whichever I go to first. I know the well's gonna come up next, I think, because that's, if I remember correctly, where the well sucks me up.
I brought the princess, didn't I?
Jafar was beyond help, consumed by his own hatred. One should beware of letting it burn too fiercely.
But yeah, movies today, they're just trying to reboot them. Like, I'm like, with the new Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm a Spider-Man fan, and I'm a bit upset that they switch actors. I'm gonna tell you the truth and how I feel about Spider-Man. I just do not. I'm seriously, I do not like Andrew Garfield. I do not. Emma Stone, yeah, she fits alright for
Your vessel is
Gwen Stacy, but I have to side with the first three Spider-Mans. People were complaining that Topher Grace was crappy as Venom. I understand. He. It's not that he wasn't casted correctly. It's that he didn't do a good job playing Venom. He didn't convince. For me, he didn't convince me to be Venom. He was more boring. He wasn't like, yeah. But other than that, I still like Spider-Man 3. There's not really too much I can complain about. I know it doesn't follow the comics, the first three movies, but hey, you kind of gotta blame Stan Lee himself, because he owns the rights. He created Spider-Man. He owns the rights to it. He didn't tell the director to follow the comics, so you kind of gotta yell at him. You can't yell at the director and the actors, because really Tobey Maguire did a great job as Spider-Man. And yeah, he may have mentioned that he never read the comics. So what? Just because you never read the comics doesn't mean you can play Spider-Man. Your job is to act and play Spider-Man. And yeah, you don't really need to read the comics to know what Spider-Man is and what he's about, because a lot of people know who Spider-Man is. You're kind of not watching movies or know anything about superheroes if you don't know anything about Spider-Man. Yeah, a lot of people know who Spider-Man is to some extent, so I'll let him go with that he didn't read the comics. I didn't read every single one of the Spider-Man comics, even though I'm a Spider-Man fan. I mostly played the games as a kid in the 90s when they came out. I played most of the games. Every Spider-Man game I've actually played. Even the newest one, The Amazing Spider-Man, I played that one. I should have recorded it for my channel, but I just haven't got around to it. Some of the games that I've been playing, I haven't recorded them for my channel yet. And part of the reason is because the computer I have now is slow. But the new one I'm getting is going to be a lot faster, so I'll be recording a lot more and stuff. And then I've been busy with school, so it's kind of hard. Right now I'm adding different stuff. Protocol chains and fire rings, thunder, and all that stuff. I'm adding this to my characters, seeing what will bring the defense up and down, so that I don't get knocked out so easily. Especially Donald and Goofy. Yeah, so I read, because I watched all the cartoons of Spider-Man, and stuff. So really, do you? Yeah, you can't. You should have read the comic. I read a few of them, but not every single one of them. I couldn't get my hands on every single one of them. But I watched all the cartoons as a kid, most of them, most of every episode. So that right there, if you're saying that I'm not a Spider-Man fan because I don't own every single comic, it's like I'm a Terminator. Like me, I'm like Terminator fan. I don't have a big model of Arnold. It's because, well, some of it is expensive to get your hands on that. Like if I was to get like the actual prop or replica of it, it would cost a lot of money to get my hands on that. So I don't have that much money to get my hands on it. So that's why some of the stuff that I don't have, even though like Ninja Turtles, I'm a fan of Ninja Turtles. I used to have action figures of Ninja Turtles. I even have a picture. Like I showed in one of my videos on my Spinock channel or whatever. One of my videos one time on one of my channels, I showed a picture of it. And in one of my videos, I showed it. Now where I'm at right now, I don't have it with me on me. It's put away and it's in storage. Yeah, but that doesn't make you. Yeah, so like with Tobey Maguire as Spider, because I know Disney owns Marvel now, and they got the Avengers and stuff. So the Avengers was a great movie, but yeah, and some people were kind of like upset that Spider-Man wasn't in it, but you kind of got to look at it, and he really wasn't part of the Avengers, which I find that to be a little odd because Spider-Man is the main part of Marvel, and Wolverine is too, because you got X-Men, and you got Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman does really good with Wolverine. He's really good with that, and I hope they don't ever switch him out, because I'm pissed that they switched out Tobey Maguire with Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield, yeah, he doesn't look like a nerd. He never really wore the glasses like in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Let's just oh, and I died there. So I have to do this all over again, because I talking and playing at the same time. I kind of got distracted myself. But yeah, so like Andrew Garfield, he looks like a pretty boy, like not a nerd. And I thought that that's what Stanley wanted him to be, because the way he's portrayed in the comics and the cartoons, he's a nerd. He's into science. So what's a real nerd? And I think, well, I don't think, when I saw Tobey Maguire in the very first Spider-Man movie, I was like, he fits Spider-Man perfectly. And then when I later on, when I found out that he never read the comics, I'm like, why are people freaking out they never read the comics? He must know something about Spider-Man, because he played the nerd part very well. He like, even with Kirsten Dunst, they're saying that Gwen Stacy's Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, that she's better because she does something. No. Most superheroes are when they have love in their life, they usually become a damsel in distress. Like why do you want her to fight? You're supposed to fight for her, because it's like, well, no, well, in the new Amazing Spider-Man 2, well, she does something about it. But like, there's something in the trailer that I don't like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, is when Emma Stone says Peter. Like, it kind of sounds off to me, like in the trailer. Like, kind of sounds like I don't know. She blurts out his name, which, okay, fine. You don't, you did it because you accidentally blurted out his name because she knows who he is, but, which is weird because with the first, when in the first 3 Spider-Mans, Mary Jane didn't really know who that Peter Parker was Spider-Man until he told her in the second movie. He immediately tells her in the first movie. It's like Emma Stone, the character Gwen Stacy. It's like, okay. Well, she doesn't really tell her. She sees him as Spider-Man. So it's like, yeah, because she caught him. And to be honest, I did not like the Uncle Ben's death scene in Amazing Spider-Man. It was like, oh well, he died. It's like, let's just rush into it. The guy that robs the store, he just bumps into Ben Parker and shoots him. Like, okay, it's an oh well type thing. And in the first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, and the guy that played Uncle Ben in that movie, I forgot his actual name. The guy that actually played him in the first Spider-Man, I thought was really good. He was old and he was more, because like Charlie Sheen's dad, I think his name is Martin Sheen. I get him mixed up. He wasn't really convincing to play Uncle Ben. He wasn't like passionate, and he wasn't like, I don't know, he just wasn't really there. They didn't really have much of a connection like they did in the first 3 Spider-Man movies. Because the death scene of Uncle Ben in the first Spider-Man movie, it's like, there's a crowd hovering over him as Peter Parker is crying because he's dying. He feels bad that he made a mistake. All he cared about was Mary Jane, and he ignored his uncle, and you feel bad that he ignored his uncle, and it carries him throughout the second and third movie. He feels bad over it. He's like, I made Mary Jane more of an importance. I ignored my uncle, who was there for me and wanted to spend time with me and was always there. And even the old lady that played Aunt May, I thought she did a really good job. I liked the trailer to the third Spider-Man movie. She tells good stories. She's like more like kind of like a grandmother, because she's old, but she's his aunt, and she's like a motivator. Like inspirational person. She would always say, Spider-Man doesn't do this. I know Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a good guy. Spider-Man is like a hero to these kids. Like in the second movie, Peter Parker and Aunt May are talking, and she's wondering where's Spider-Man? Where is he gone? Why is he not here anymore? And like in the trailer to the second Amazing Spider-Man, I'm like, I don't really like it. It's like he's, instead of having more interaction with his aunt in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, it's like, oh no, I'm hiding things from her. Like, she goes into the washer and she sees, why are your clothes red and blue? Why is everything red and blue? Like, come on. It's more like you're hiding things from your aunt instead of just getting more of a connection with her, because you ignored, like in the first 3 Spider-Man movies, he ignored his uncle, so he gets more like into a connection with his aunt in the second and third movie, because she is a positive person to Peter Parker.
Oh my, so the
And
whale swallowed all of you too?
they're got a blank connection in the first one. They didn't really talk. She was more mad at him for what he did wrong. He didn't get milk in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Like, I didn't get milk. So you're mad at me because you didn't get out and get milk. So he goes out and gets it, and he's like gets pissed off because he's all hurt.
Hope he was a good boy in my absence.
And he's more like a show-off in the Amazing Spider-Man.
We've all had
Like, he's more like a bully. Like, there's a scene where he's in the gym and there's guys playing basketball and they're practicing or whatever, and they're painting on the they're doing posters or whatever, and one of the guys is bullying one of the girls, and Peter Parker just steps in and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna
What are you doing?
use the basketball and break the backboard with
I
it."
was awfully worried about you.
Like, that's more like a show off instead of a nerd. Where's that nerd, geeky person that I thought is from the comics? So you think you're following the comics in the Amazing Spider-Man 2? You really aren't if Spider-Man isn't portrayed as a nerd.
You know what I mean.
You can add Gwen Stacy like the comics, so you can add some of these other things, but you're still missing.
Catch us. And
You're
maybe I'll
still
tell you what I
missing
know.
the main feature from the comics. Spider-Man is a nerd. He's into science. Where is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man into science? Where is he talking about science? Where is he going to college and talking about science? I don't see him. He just looks like a pretty person. Yeah, and there's no comic moments like the first three Spider-Man had. Yeah, I think the comic moments gives it a different kind of a feel. Like, not every superhero movie needs to be 100% serious, but don't go to the far with the, like, some of the Batman movies, because then those were just poorly done, because the directing in that sucked. The actors didn't have much to work with, and they did kind of suck. Like, have to admit, George Clooney didn't play Batman very well. So yeah, so I don't know. That's my spiel on Spider-Man, and I can have a lot more to say about why I like Tobey Maguire better, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not in control. I don't own the rights. But you kind of gotta blame Stan Lee himself if you have any problems with why the first three Spider-Man movies didn't follow the comics, because he owns the rights to it. He has the right to tell the director how Spider-Man is. He created Spider-Man. Half these movies are switching rights is because they sold the rights to somebody else. Like Star Wars, if it falls apart, they sold the rights to somebody else. So if you really want to blame the new director, before you blame him, like, say the new Star Wars. If you want to blame, if you don't like the new Star Wars movie that's going to be coming out next year or the year after, blame George Lucas. He sold the rights. So go knocking on his door or emailing him or or whatever and yell at him, because you say, why'd you sell the rights to this idiot? Why'd you let him have it? Yeah, that is why I am pissed off with Terminator. I'm mad at James Cameron. Like, why did you sell the rights to somebody else? To get more money? I'd say either if another director if you can't get a director that could do as good as you did or better, then don't even sell the rights to that person. Because I am mad at James Cameron for Terminator Salvation and the Sarah Connor Chronicles. He just didn't. He shouldn't have done that. Sold the rights. because now it's destroyed. Terminator sucks now. And even Terminator 3 wasn't all that great because James Cameron didn't have his hand on it. When somebody, it seems like all these movies that when they reboot them, they have new rights owners to them, so they're not really as good as they used to be. And like so far the only one, and yes, I'm a huge fan of Sylvester Stallone, was the Dread movie. That was the only one that did really good, and I have to admit, better than Sylvester Stallone. Now, the Sylvester Stallone version wasn't that bad as everyone thinks it is, but the Sylvester Stallone version was alright. But the new one, which is a step up and better, the actor doesn't show his face in it. I think that's pretty cool. But other than that, most reboots and remakes are pointless, no need, and don't do better. Like, they're trying to make another Annie movie. There's the 1980s version, which is the very first version. I like that one a lot because it's old, it's original, and no one could. Well, you can try to live up to it, but it's kind of pointless to remake it. If they want to remake another Annie movie, when they already did one in 98 or 99, why are you remaking it for a third time? But this third time you're gonna have a black girl play? Like, I'm not being racist or anything, I'm just like, you already remade this movie once, why are you making it for a third time? Like, I'm hearing things on the internet, they're trying to remake Peter Pan. Again, they did Steven Spielberg version of Hook. Okay, that's fine, because that's a lot different where he's older now. And he goes back to Neverland. And his kids are kidnapped and it's played by Robin Williams. I thought that was a really good adaptation of Peter Pan. And then there's the second one that came out in 2003. Based off live animation version of the cartoon. I thought that was pretty good too. I don't find anything wrong with it, but why are they having thoughts of wanting to make Peter Pan again? Because Hollywood is running out of ideas. Quit making the same thing over and over that was already remade. At least when Steven Spielberg had his hands on Peter Pan, he actually made Peter Pan different. Like, let's talk about what happens when he's older, when he has kids, when they get kidnapped again. Yeah, and he wants to forget what happened to him as a kid because he's older now. He's trying to forget, and it's showing that it's okay to grow old. You become a father now, and your kids get to experience it. And I thought it was a really great movie. Steven Spielberg did a good job with the Hook movie. Yeah, and then like I said, the 2003 Peter Pan was really good. I enjoyed that too. So there's no need to make another Peter Pan. Because I'm even hearing stories on the internet they want to reboot the Fantastic Four movies. Like, why do you want to reboot the Fantastic Four movies? Yeah, the first two weren't that great, but why are you, like, can you just come up with something new? I don't want to watch, I like superheroes and stuff, but I'm getting tired of them. Like, I almost don't want to watch Spider-Man anymore, and he's my favorite superhero. And yeah, I like Batman, and I like Superman, but let's give him a break. Give him a 5-year break before you make another superhero movie. You got Avengers and all this stuff. Give them a break. if you want to make something into a movie and you're having trouble coming up with ideas, then make one off of a video game that has been made into a movie. Like, do an Assassin's Creed movie or something, or like a bunch of these. There's so many games out there. Like, they did one, which is Max Payne and Hitman. Hitman was alright. I think it was a bit too short, but it wasn't really that bad. Max Payne doesn't really follow the game. Max Payne was boring, and yes, Mark Wahlberg was casted. I think he was casted great for it. I just think he wasn't given much to work with. It was kind of boring. And then Transformers, gotta let that die. Michael Bay is destroying Transformers. You could pay anybody in there to replace Shia LaBeouf and even Megan Fox, and still it'll suck because Michael Bay adds too many effects and explosions and too many stuff happening all at once. And he goes back to the same location. Let's go back to Chicago. Every time he goes back to Chicago, in all 3 movies he went back to Chicago. Like, change, do something cinematic with it instead of just the effects. Like, yeah, it's cool, but that's all Hollywood is about today. Let's do whatever we can to bring out the cool visual effects. And I'm into the same thing too, but I want story, I want character development, I want great acting, I want great cinematography, all mixed together. Look what they did with Terminator 1 and 2. They went all out. Whatever visual effects they at the time that they had, they went all out with it, and then they went all out with the story, and went all out with every single thing. Movies today, they don't work that hard, because James Cameron, he's a very great director. Everything he's touched, he's come up with a great story, great visual effects, and it all makes sense. Good makeup, like you can even do have a great visual effects artist. Like, you don't need 3D animations or 3D effects or 3D programs to make the movie great. You can have great makeup and stuff. You don't need all that junk in there. But hey, it's Hollywood today. They're let's just see what we can make for the money. Big bang for the buck. It's like, come on, the new RoboCop sucked bad. I go for the story on the old RoboCop movie. It just, I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta rate something rated R in order to tell a great story. If you're just gonna leave it PG-13 because you want as much of an audience as you can get out of it, sorry. I watched, I'm not gonna lie, it's rated R. I wasn't 17 when I first saw RoboCop, but it still, in some form, was geared towards kids because they made toys. I had an action figure, a RoboCop action figure. So, rated R just means you can't watch it by yourself. In theaters, because really, unless it's actually showing porn, rated R ain't really that bad. Yeah, sometimes too much cussing can be bad, but sometimes
Why do you still care
just because it has a lot of cussing doesn't mean the movie is that bad.
He
Like,
has all but deserted you
yeah,
with the Keyblade at his
unless
beacon.
it doesn't make sense to the story, and you're just trying to show sex and
I was just messing
like,
with him a little.
Oh,
yeah, if you're watching like pornos or stuff like that,
beware the darkness in your heart.
then that's where you're drawing the line. Like, this doesn't make no story or anything.
Mind your own
But
business.
yeah, RoboCop should never been PG-13. Terminator Salvation should never been PG-13, because you need that rated R to make the story
What's
great.
the matter with you?
or you're just dumbing it down with all the explosions and stuff.
I was about to ask you
You
the
shouldn't
same
make
thing,
it as
Sorry.
real as possible.
You only seem interested in running around and showing off
And-
that Keyblade these days.
Terminator 2 was
Even want to
a
save
bit,
Kyrie?
it was over the top
I
because it was
do.
rated R, and you limit yourself and you go PG-13. Because people will watch it no matter what. You can't stop everybody that's underage from watching a rated R movie. They'll just go in with their parents and watch it. Because you can still go into a rated R movie as long as you have an adult with you if you're under 17. So why don't they remember that? They think that every kid's gonna go and watch a movie, try to get into a rated R movie by themselves. When even if they did, so what? You just gotta show your ID, and if you're not old enough, fine. Or if you don't get caught, you don't get caught, if you're lucky. I don't understand why they do not want to make rated R movies anymore. Movies are too soft nowadays. Yeah, you can still make a rated R movie, but not be like total, let's just cuss here, cuss out, and show nudity. No, you don't need that.
No problem. Let's do it.
Look at Paul Walker's Running Scared that I like a lot. It wasn't really, to be honest, it wasn't really that bad. With it being rated R, they went overboard with some of the shooting and all that, but it didn't show any nude. It was kind of a violent movie, but they didn't really show nude in it, so it was a really good movie. I don't like, yeah, it makes no sense why there's like Hollywood doesn't really want to make rated R movies anymore. Something that was rated R once should stay rated R if you're gonna try to remake it. Because it's boring if you don't. And because you're limited if you go PG-13. Which is fine if you want to limit yourself, but just make a really great story out of it. And they went with the effects. Let's just blow things up to make it look cool. Like, that's fine, but do what James Cameron does and make a great story, get great acting. You do something with your actors. He did something with Arnold, like in the first Terminator. He did something with him. Like Arnold didn't even have to say a word in the movie, and he was freaking cool in the movie. He only said a couple lines. Like one line he said, "Fuck you, asshole," and one of them he didn't really say much, and he sold the character because it was all about terminating and killing. Because he wants to get to John Connor, so he has to kill Sarah Connor. And he doesn't really need lines there, and he did very good because of that. I really don't understand why movies today, they just don't. And they're kind of getting that way with games, like the new Call of Duty game, Ghost, the newest one, and even Titanfall, because it's made by the same people that worked on the Call of Duty game. It's not all there. It doesn't spark me too much. And I'm only getting the game just to explain to you why there's things that I don't like about it, because it has too many similarities and it didn't really do much of a difference. They just kind of stole the same stuff from the first few Call of Duty games, some of them, and then so it's like, yeah. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to equip different abilities for my characters that I can get, and I don't want to get anything that won't do much for my characters, because this last part is going to be the hardest part of this, inside the well. Okay. So. Okay.
Pinocchio! Pinocchio!
Yeah, so Pinocchio
Please,
is.
give me back my son.
Sorry, old man.
Riku is being a
I have
jerk.
some unfinished business with this puppet.
He's no puppet. Pinocchio is my
But yeah,
little boy.
a lot of games,
He is
like,
unusual. Not many
a lot of
puppets
games
have
are kind of
hearts.
like
I'm not
doing
sure, but maybe you can help
spoofs
someone
off
with
of
those
other
lost
games,
things.
like Plants vs.
Are you
Zombies,
talking about
Warfare, whatever
What do you
that one.
care about her?
I'm a very, like, if you're not, yeah, because I'm not going to play the game just because everybody else is playing it kind of person. I'm going to play the game because I think it's really great. Like, that's why I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, that's why I have Grand Theft Auto 5, because it's great, and it's not copying anything. And even with Saints Row, yes, it kind of copied Grand Theft Auto a little bit, but with the fourth one, it went all out and made it its own game. Like, it separates itself from the Grand Theft Auto stuff. It has similarities, but it separated itself. It's got comedic stuff, and you got superpowers. You don't have superpowers in Grand Theft Auto, so I'm like, yeah, on that one. But some stuff, like, can you just not copy? Like, look at with the not Angry Birds, but I'm trying with the Flappy Bird, this iOS game, or this app, which is smart, whatever, on the App Store and all that stuff that for your iPhone and your smartphone, Android or whatever. They made so many because of Flappy Bird original. Whatever happened to the main creator of the original, he got something happened to him and he deleted it. So people were freaking out. So they made like remake versions like of their own that are kind of similar. And I tried playing those and I'm like,
A puppet that's lost its heart to the heartless.
today let's just steal ideas from somebody else. It's like
Sora?
makes no sense.
Let's
Can you
join
just come
forces
up with
to
your
save
own
her.
thing instead of just trying
We
to
can do it together.
copy something else that was cool? What pisses
What?
like Call of Duty, what
You'd rather
pisses me
fight
off
me?
is their
Over a
maps
puppet that has
are
no heart?
pretty much not really as much different from the other maps from the
No
previous
heart.
Call of Duties.
At least he still has a
It
conscience.
pisses me off,
Conscience.
and
You might not hear it.
I only got
Right now
I
it's
kind of
loud
got the
and
game
clear.
again because I was gonna give
And it's
it.
telling me
I was
you're
gonna
on
let
the
it go
wrong side.
on Ghost because I.
Then you leave me no choice.
But then after this, I mine another Call of Duty game. I'm not gonna get it because I want something totally different. I want a different military game, like what I used. Like I used to play this one game. It was more geared towards kids. It was called Army Men,
I guess I'm okay.
and I thought that game was interesting. It had some creativeness to it. Call of Duty is not creative anymore. They're just trying to make money. Like, what can we do to still make money? And yeah, so if they don't add anything really totally different with the Call of Duty games, I am not, and I mean I am really not going to get another Call of Duty game. I'm going to go to something else. I'm not even going to Titanfall because you could jump on top of buildings and stuff like you couldn't before, and climb up stuff and like you couldn't, and then you have like it's kind of like more sci-fi-ish, but it's still similar to Call of Duty, so really there's nothing special with it. So pretty much it's kind of pointless when you really look at it, because I don't see anything special about Call of Duty or the Titanfall. And then Titanfall, or let's just sell it for Xbox only. I'm getting me an Alienware computer. Why do I need an Xbox now? Because Microsoft mostly makes PC games. Why? when I really look at it and I keep looking at it as years go by, like, why is it pointless? Why is it? Why do they? Yeah, because it's pointless to me. Why they even made an Xbox when Microsoft makes PC computer? Cause yeah, it is cheaper to pay $500. But why don't you spend another few $100s, get you a computer? You could do more than just play games with it. You can do editing and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I find that to be stupid. To get, and then the new name of the Xbox One. The minute they said Xbox One, because I was gonna try to give it a chance and own it for myself, because I had cousins that have had Xbox and I played it, and I don't like it, do not care about it, and I hate the controllers. I just do not like. I do not like anything about Xbox. Yeah, Halo, great. Halo is a really good game, but so yep. So that's just the way I see things. So about stuff, just giving you a spill on different stuff, movies, games, and where I see stuff going today, because I'm probably going to get more PC games now, and any game that's on Xbox only, and if they have a PC version, I'm going to get that now. So like Titanfall, I'm going to get that one for PC, and I'm going to get and even some games that are only for PC, because there's some games that are only for PC. Like Marvel Heroes, that one's only for PC. Yeah. So I finally beated this now. So we gotta start running now. Okay. So Riku just left, and he's gone. So I've obtained the power of time, learned magic spell stop, which is pretty cool. You get to freeze him for a few seconds. So that's what that is. So you can stop him. And now, this is not where I'm going to be going next, because I'm going to probably be going to somewhere like, which is going to be the Nightmare Before Christmas level. I forgot, which is they call that Halloween Town, I think. So that's where I'm probably gonna go next. I know, because if I go down to the other side where I didn't go before, I would go to Under the Sea. I'm gonna go to that one after I finish the Halloween Town one, which is Nightmare Before Christmas. And on the second game, they show more of it, where Santa Claus actually comes into the game, just like in the movie. But on the here in this one, in this game, they only show like small part of it. So thanks for watching. That's it, and I'll talk to you guys later in my next gameplay video, and that is it.